Cassidy Goodson was just a teenager in Lakeland, Florida. But what happened inside her home would turn into a case that shocked a lot of people. According to reports, Cassidy had been hiding a pregnancy from her parents for months. Investigators say she wore baggy clothes and avoided attention so no one would notice. Even when her own mother became suspicious and told her to take pregnancy tests, Cassidy later admitted she faked those results because no one was watching her in the bathroom. So from her parents' perspective, there was no pregnancy. But everything changed in September. According to police, Cassidy began feeling sick and realized she was going into labor. She went into the bathroom alone. To keep anyone from hearing what was happening, she reportedly turned on the water and used a towel to muffle the noise. And inside that bathroom, she gave birth to a 9.5-pound baby boy by herself. According to reports, the scene was severe. There was a large amount of blood in the bathroom, and it reportedly extended into her bedroom, which is what caught her mother's attention and made things feel off inside the house. Now, this is where the case takes a disturbing turn. According to investigators, after the baby was born, Cassidy checked to see if he was breathing, and he was. She later told police that she then put her hands around his throat and squeezed until he stopped breathing, saying she was scared and didn't want to get in trouble or disappoint her parents. An autopsy later confirmed the baby died from asphyxia due to strangulation, along with blunt force trauma. But what happened after that is just as important. According to reports, Cassidy placed the baby inside a shoebox to hide what had happened. And instead of telling anyone the truth, she initially claimed that she had a miscarriage. That explanation added to the confusion early on, especially considering the amount of blood and the earlier suspicions from her mother. But then everything was exposed. According to reports, Cassidy's mother eventually discovered the baby inside a shoebox while handling laundry. That's when she realized this was not a miscarriage. She immediately contacted authorities. From there, the case escalated quickly. Cassidy was taken in and questioned by police, where she described what happened inside the bathroom. And in one of the most disturbing pieces of evidence, investigators brought her back to the scene. According to reports, she reenacted what happened using a Santa Claus doll inside the same bathroom where she gave birth. She demonstrated step by step how she said she held the baby and how she applied pressure to his neck. At one point, a detective asked her how hard she had to squeeze, and her response was, "Enough for it to stop breathing." The evidence, along with her statements and the autopsy results, led to serious charges. Initially, prosecutors charged her with premeditated first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse. Because of the severity, she was facing the possibility of being tried as an adult, which could have meant life in prison without parole. But later, that changed. According to reports, her defense attorney negotiated a plea deal. The charge was reduced to manslaughter, and instead of facing life in an adult prison, Cassidy would be sentenced as a minor, serving time in a juvenile facility, with a minimum of about 18 months. That outcome immediately divided people, and while this case shocked so many people at the time, it didn't end there. According to later reports, Cassidy Goodson eventually completed her sentence and was released from the juvenile facility. Since then, information that has circulated publicly suggests that she has moved on with her life. Reports indicate that she is now married and has children of her own. And that part is what makes this case even more difficult for some people to process, because while one life was lost, another life continued forward in a completely different direction. For some, that raises questions about justice. For others, it highlights how complicated situations like this can be, especially when they involve someone so young at the time. But no matter where people stand, the past doesn't change. And this case is still remembered for what happened inside that home, and the decisions made in that moment